What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to more Black Desert. My name is John. Sorry about the delayed videos. I've been sick the entire week and it's been difficult, so we're like day 5 right now. Still recovering, so if I sound funny, that's what it is. And what I wanted to talk about today was the Global Labs patch notes, which we have on screen right now. And usually when they announce this on the Global Labs, if you are new, Global Labs is the equivalent of like a PTR, PTS, public test server, essentially. Usually things happen within like 2 to 3 weeks from then to the live servers. So for all of you who are interested, we're going to be reading up on these changes, and maybe they'll come out with stuff that we could talk about, and there'll be some good information on, you know, items that might increase in price throughout time, maybe not. But anyway, this released today, October 20th, and I heard about a few of them, of the changes, but I haven't really looked at the notes yet, so we're looking at it for the first time. And yeah, let's see. So balance changes. They've been doing this for a while now. I think the warrior one got delayed, and this is probably one of them that they're going to be changing. Oh yeah, so first of all, there's this like the Asia Node War championship thingy. I play on NA, so my opinion on any of this is basically irrelevant. There's actually one thing in game. Let me show you this real quick. So you know how in your Y tab there was like an item where you can pick like which region, or not region, but like Korea, Japan, I think the other 2 servers, which one's gonna win. You would think that Korea is gonna win because they have the biggest like time advantage over everyone else, just in terms of like gameplay and general knowledge of the game. So I chose them. Do I know what's gonna happen? I have no idea. I don't even know when that's happening, to be honest, because NA, EU, C, we are not even involved. So with that said, whenever that happens, we'll talk about it. Maybe there'll be some cool highlights, and then we'll go watch a stream or something, and I'll see if I can get permission to like watch the live thing whenever that's happening. While that's underway, more balanced PvE character balances is still happening. Oh yeah, by the way, this is Google translated, so like this entire thing was in Korean, so I just literally Google translated all of this. So if it's like it doesn't make sense, I'll do my best to try to explain it in what I understand. So basically, developer notes of what's happening. That's a lot of text. Basically, Warriors got delayed last week, and it's changing it now. So this one, Warrior change. Admittedly, my knowledge of Warrior is not that high, and I don't really know all the skills to the extent of what they would do. But when I see numbers get bigger, that usually is a good thing, especially since I know these are PvE changes. So getting all the classes up to like the Wusa level is probably good. You know what I think? Because this game has so many classes, usually I hate seeing classes get nerfed, because like it doesn't matter if you play that class and you get nerfed, it feels bad, no matter how you put it. But when you have so many classes, and then it's like 25 other classes are way below like the top tier class, and I guess in a realistic, what we're talking about is Wusa, every other class. Obviously it's not like that. Some classes are obviously under, like there's a tier system, but I think what they want to do is buff everything up, which I think is overall good. But I think one thing they should actually do is tone down Wusa even more. They did nerf Wusa already, but it's like that nerf was so irrelevant that it's still pretty good. It's like 5% less good than before. I still have my Wusa tagged, if it means anything. So anyway, that was a rant and on its own. But we're talking about Warriors now. I know what some of these are. I don't think these are all the English names. I think this one is like Scars of Dusk in English. Ground Strike. I don't know what Breaking Ground is. And this one. Either way, like, I know some of them. I don't know Warrior well enough to be able to tell you, but all I see is basically numbers go bigger for PvE. That's good. And then they're balancing for PvP to make it the same. So overall, I think these are good changes. Ranger getting PvE buffed as well, which is kind of wild because I thought Rangers were just good overall. But they're getting more buffs. That's cool. I'll be honest, I don't know how to play Ranger. So, like, if they're getting PvE buff, that's great. Plum Blossom. I believe I've heard this term before. I think this means Musa. Musa or Mewa? Oh, wait. I guess Blossom is probably Mewa. And then just Plum would be Musa. It doesn't make sense to me either. I've just heard that, and like the Korean players call it that, so. I do know Mei was a little bit, because I actually did play them a little bit, so, and I was looking at the skills, I'm like, Snowball, what is that? And then I think Moonrise is actually where I figured it out. And then Full Bloom is definitely a Meiwa skill. New Year's Eve, I have no idea what that is, I'll be honest, but a lot of these changes look the same as before. Kuno buffed. Frosty is going to be happy with that. Numbers go big. That's a lot, like 800%. I have no idea what that skill is, by the way. But like 800%, that seems like a good change. Let's figure this out. I don't know what class this is, but let's figure it out. Step on the ground, space, Thunderbolt. That sounds like Sage. Sage or Striker? This is actually a fun game. Figuring out what class this is just by the skill names, because... Okay, so if I had to take a guess, I'm starting to think it's Sage, Mystic, or Striker. Let's see. So I know that Claw abilities is Striker and Mystic. Thunderbolt. I know Sage uses a lot of Thunder and Lightning abilities. Surging Waves. I'm starting to, like, mental strength. Okay, so this is probably just Striker. What a fun game this is, right? Just figuring out what class is getting buffed because you don't actually know. Sounds like Striker or Mystic, but I'm thinking more on the lines of Striker. Do Strikers actually need a buff though? I don't think so. Like, they're pretty good. Like, right now, I didn't think they needed a buff, but I'm happy for you. Corsair. I heard Corsairs, they have really strong single targets, but like their AoEs are not so good. But for PvE, like, for every class, it's all about AoE clear speed, which is why like Woosas are #1, because like basically all their abilities, big AoEs, big damage. Whereas Corsairs are a lot of single target from my experience, and their AoEs, like, they're not bad, they're just not so great. So glad to see numbers getting buffed, and that's good. Dark Knight. Yo, Dark Knights are getting buffed. Oh boy, let's see. Let's see if I even understand what half of these skills are. River either means prime or awakening. Corrupting Earth is probably shift Q, and the mental strength is probably your MP, because yeah, hold on, let me see. We'll figure this out. Okay, so Corrupting Earth, the only skill that really would make sense would probably be Corrupt Ground, which is your shift Q. And when they say mental power consumption removed, or mental strength recovery, that's probably MP and HP. So yeah, 20, 30, 40, I guess, per level, from to up to 80. So here's the thing with that. I'm glad it's getting buffed first of all. However, with infinite potions being such a normal thing nowadays, I don't think it's as important, but I think at higher end it will help you a little bit. But it's one of those things that's more of a filler skill than anything. So yeah. Vadir's Madness is... that could be a lot of skills, actually. 30, 40, 50. Either way, 60 to 80. HP recovery. I don't know why. They say mental strength here, but they basically said HP recovery, HP and MP. They should just say that in the same thing. Kama Sylvia's Charm. Does that mean Kama Slash? Basically recovering resources. So none of these are really damage changes too much, more as like MP and HP recovery, which it's kind of weird because I don't really notice too much of a problem. I guess as a new player, you might have more MP issues, but once you're at like mid to end game level, your MP is not an issue at all. And even if you're playing Awakening, once you learn how to do a rotation and cycle through things pretty like smoothly and make an actual flow with everything, it's not too bad. And once you get infinite potions, resources are irrelevant. So Clawing Madness. Increase damage and additional hit damage by 1 hit each. Whatever that means. Scratching Madness. I think that term might actually be like Ravage Rake into the flow, but I'm not 100% sure. Execution. Let's figure that out. Enforcement, maybe? Well, actually, I mean, I could just look right now. No, that's not it. So, okay, so tilted balance is slanted balance. River is probably like the prime or absolute version. Let me double check that real quick. Slanted balance. Yeah, okay, so it's the same thing. So basically, it's the final tier level. Air Raid is Airstrike. Spirit Legacy. I am surprised that word translated properly in English, because I would feel like that this one of all things. Wait a second. 1297 times 8. Is that Succession? Ooh, that is succession. I think this might actually be the best thing because, first of all, airstrike is not really used for damage. It's used for the CC on it. Same with slanted balance. It's not so much for the damage, but to get the CC off. Spirit Legacy is your big heavy hitter for big damage, and I guess a spammable. You should not be using it like while it's on cooldown because it reduces the damage. But if it does more now, I guess maybe depending on where you're at, you could spam it, but usually would not recommend doing it. It's not a good idea to get into a bad habit of learning like things you just shouldn't do. So overall, I think that most of these are just resource management increases. The Spirit Legacy is actually a huge change if it's like a almost 800% increase in damage, which I've always thought that Dark Knights are underperforming compared to like Zerkers, Wusas. Any class that has big AoEs will always do better. It is what it is. But that's fine. Like, the mobility is awesome as well. I don't think Dark Knights are a bad class in general. So here's how I would give an honest take of where Dark Knight stands in the game. So I think Dark Knights are just like straight down the middle or balanced as everyone would know it as, and which I feel would be what all classes should be, just balanced. However, in this game, BDO, what so many classes, balance does not mean meta or necessarily good. It just means it's like average, in my opinion. So average to above, that's where I would put Dark Knights at. They're not the worst, they're not the best, obviously, but they're not a bad class. It's just like it takes a little bit longer to learn and play, and harder to master than. You guys remember when Magus came out and they were just like super OP and had to be tuned down like multiple times? And when everyone re-rolled Magu on like the first week, they thought they were like God's gift at gaming for PvP. And then you just realize that Magus, you just need to learn how to press 4 buttons, and then you were just deleting people just because the AoE damage was like insane. Yeah, I remember that. I was doing Arena of Solaire during that time. That was fun. Absolutely not fun getting deleted by people who had no idea how to play the class. But yeah, here we are. Anyway, I knew what half of these skills were, but that's cool. I could probably go into more detail and just like actually find the skill if I wanted to, but the one that really like stood out to me was the Spirit Legacy one, because that's one that actually uses a lot more damage, whereas the rest of them, I'm glad they're getting buffed, but it's like I don't use airstrike for damage. I go into an enemy and whatever damage it does, cool, then I just drop a Spirit Legacy and then things get just all right. Awakening DK, Spirit Hunt. I know what that skill is. Recovery for HP MP, I think, from 30 to 60. Grasp of Resentment is Grip of Grudge. Life recovery per hit. Okay, that's interesting. Touch of Exploitation. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I've ever used that even in Awakening. I probably did, but I just don't remember it. So health recovery effect. So wait, you're telling me all these other classes are getting fat damage buffs and then we're getting HP and MP recovery? Okay. Well. Flow, Elemental Oxidation. I don't know what that is. I'm too lazy to look it up too. Falling Darkness. I think that's Shattering Darkness. I don't know how they translated those two words, like shattering, falling. Okay. Ooh, that's a pretty good change. Like, looking at these numbers, I actually think that Awakening and Succession are pretty competitive, actually. Compared to other classes, I think Dark Knight actually got really lucky in terms of being able to play both specs and doing well with both of them. But looking at some of these, I think that Awakening might actually be better after this change. Not that it's not now, like, depending on the spot you grind at, I think Awakening could be better. Like, for example, Kratuga, Awakening completely dumpsters on Succession. The flows got buffed as well. Seed of Catastrophe. From 50% reduction to 71%, which is ideally equalizing, but let's see. How did they do this? Okay, so 1, 2, 3 numbers times 5 times what in the world? These numbers don't look the same. So they buffed the numbers, took out one multiplier. I think that's actually a good thing because, so you know how every skill in this game, right? It doesn't matter what class you are. Let's say you're a Dark Knight. You see how this attack says 1698 times 8? You do one of this, right? Or, well, that's the 100, but you like slam your sword down. Apparently that hits 8 times. I think that the less hits, because like, you know, lag time and everything, like these things, it's hard to explain. If you can get off more damage and less hits, it's overall better. That goes for every class, not just Dark Knights in particular. You would think that, like, in most games, here's how it goes. You have a set amount of damage times like 1 or 2, and then the crit would be multiplying. However, it's either you hit all of them or you don't hit. But in this game, because it has like 8 to 10 multipliers, you don't really know if you're actually hitting every single hit on an enemy. This is not even a new problem. It's more of like something that's just been in the game since day one. And I think that less multipliers but higher damage overall is a higher like floor of damage. And so I think overall that's a good thing. So Seed of Catastrophe, straight up just like 500% more damage. That's cool to flow. That's good. Spirit Legacy. That's a lot of damage. Grasp of Resentment. That's Grip of Grudge, I believe. 1,000% more, but you lose 4 in the multiplier. Is that good? I think so, because like if you get all the hits in, it's overall more. Like when you do Grip of Grudge, you don't even see yourself hitting 9 times. So I think overall less multipliers for every class would be good. All right, well, I'm actually kind of surprised I knew more of those skills for Dark Knights, and being able to translate that was pretty good. Unfortunately, I don't know Hash well enough to comment on anything, but bigger numbers, better class. Safe. Is that... Does this mean Sage? Okay, wait, hold up. Safe. Alright, let's look at the skills. Let's play the game again. Let's figure out what class this is. What class has a water sprout? Ah, dude, I have no idea. Awakening Water Spirit. Oh boy. Extreme Cleavage. I don't know what class this is. At first I thought it was Sage, but I'm convinced it's not. While using a sword, Storm, Whirlwind Clash. The only classes I know that could do that are Draconia and Zerker, but I think they call Zerkers giants. Warrior Spirit. I feel like that gives me a hint, but I don't know. Yeah, dude, I like this actually just stomped me. I don't even know what class this is. Pension life. God, that's not really a word you really want to hear too often. All right, so we have expanded the supply of basically alchemy materials, and they're basically adding more, which is a good thing because elixirs are very expensive, and this is why frenzies are sold out on the market, and people should get some while you can. I'm not sure how much they're going to raise the price of it, but the real problem is people are not that it's like it's hard to get, but the elixirs, the materials for it, are basically sold out. So people are just going to hoard them if they can. So the fact that they're increasing the supply of everything, the things that really matter: truffles, dead tree essence, every fruit, and a lot of cedars, actually, or the saps, especially cedars. So that's good. If they're adding more to it and increasing the price, that's fine. We have expanded the overall supply and adjusted it so you can obtain larger quantity when purchasing it directly, and also added new suppliers. Yo, if this means people can get their truffle mushrooms easy, yo, that's good. Good for you. Good for the economy, actually, because that's actually one of my most hated activities, grinding out truffle mushrooms. Like, I feel like I'm just not having fun when I'm doing that, but you need it because critical hit damage is kind of important when you're using full elixirs. So trace items, basically all the traces that you get from excavation nodes and everything, I think those are increased on quantity, which is good. Daily quest increases for all of these, which is good. Okay, let's talk about this actually. So there are 3 different quests when you're doing this thing, right? Let me talk about the rewards you should get. Trace of Earth is a very important one. Honestly, first of all, I want to say get the one that I think you need, but I think Trace of Earth is a very important one and will be a huge bottleneck. Trace of Origin is a very solid one, and Trace of Battle might be good for this quest. And over here, Trace of Memory, which is I think the yellow one, that one will be an absolute bottleneck for a lot of people. And same with I think Chaos is not important. Hunting might be, but I think you should probably just get Memory for this one. Gathering. Each one of these are the tools, depending, added to obtain instead of gathering trade items. Acquire traces through gathering activities. Remove gathering trade items. Cool. You know what? One thing they should really do, like those bug thingies, those trade items we get, they should allow you to turn them in while you have a character tagged. That would actually just solve all the problems, and take them, withdraw and deposit them from your inventory or your storage. And I get why that you can't, because you could just like put them all in one character, tag a character, and then like transport them, and then that would take away from the weight limit of you just being able to do all of that, the whole wagon system. But overall, let's see what's next. Sap like items, dude. Saps have needed to be buffed for like years, so all of these are pretty good. Fruits, whenever you do like farming, get more out of them. That's good. A lot of this is alchemy, by the way. So unknown seeds. I hope all of you guys have actually kept your unknown seeds or mysterious seeds if you do farming, as they're just going to do more stuff, right? We have expanded the sources of obtaining truffles. Dude, that is like the biggest W I've ever seen in BDO. Life skilling, huge. Give this person a raise. They finally solved it. All it takes is one person to actually play the game that knows what the problems are, and then we can get things solved. Holy. This is such a good change. You can actually plant truffle seeds now, I think. Holy, dude. Life skillers, and that is outstanding. I should probably start using my full elixir rotation more or less now. Alchemy item exchange registration. Ooh, you can sell all of these. I remember grinding Turos and all these spots where you can get them, and then I never really used them because I didn't need them. But the fact that you can sell these on the central market now, that's a good thing. Looking at the items that are changing though, this is like a lot of these are stuff you get from grind spots in the 270 plus zone, which ultimately like is not like a new player thing, but like if you're an end game player, you probably have some use for it, so that's good. Prickly pear. Probability of obtaining a prickly pear when collecting hoe was increased by 30%. I don't think I've ever used that in the years I've been playing this game. Coral crystals, blue whale oil. Yeah, this is also a problem because it makes those spirit perfumes and like the pink perfume, I believe, and obviously whale tendons. So the fact that you can actually get these more often now is a huge W, because they are hard maxed and there's so many orders on the NA market. You can get griffin claws when you defeat a griffin. So I've actually done some griffin grinding, and it's like you get them, but it's RNG compared to whenever they changed it. It's going to be guaranteed. That's good. Snowseeder. That's actually a huge change because Snowseeder is one of my biggest bottlenecks for saps, and I'm just too lazy to gather it myself. But the fact that you cannot, or you can get more, is good. So let's go into the next part. You guys know how frenzies are basically permanently sold out, right? Because all these changes, right? Yeah, this is why they're increasing the price of everything, and I think that's good. So basically every frenzy or every elixir in the game, or not all of them, but like all the relevant ones, are getting buffed. So I think that's good, like actually good. Griffin claws up to 2 mil each. I think after the change they're gonna be, I don't know, I think they're not gonna be maxed forever. Maybe for the first like few weeks. Let's see. I would like control F to try to find it, but I don't even think it, like the ones I want are in English. Sharp detection. Oh my goodness, dude. Sharp detections are about to be 4 mil each. I am kind of glad. I'm kind of glad that I have this. Oh boy. This is an important one. Keep these. They're going to be 12 mil more. All right, next, War of the Roses. Basically, War of the Roses is the 300 versus 300 thing that happens every 2 weeks. I have a lot to say about that, and I want to talk about that in another video, but basically, like, I hope it goes well, because right now on the NA servers, sieges are the laggiest thing. Node wars are laggy. If there's more than like 50 people in an area, it's laggy, and they're expecting 600 people in like a war. Let's go. At the start of the War of the Roses, team chat has been improved so allies can use team chat. Hey, you guys remember in the last season of Arena of Solaire when you can have random people in your comms in a 3v3, and you just like, you join comms for Arena of Solaire and there's like 7 people and you don't even know who any of them are. Just like, how did you get here? Yeah, I just thought that was so funny, actually. Imagine having 300 people in a chat room. You don't even... Oh. Yeah. Okay. Admittedly, I think these are probably like game modes and items. I don't know too much about it. I'll look into it and talk about it in another video. We'll look into it in more details another time. All of this is irrelevant to me. Masterpiece. Treasure furniture item. The telescope. You know, that's actually funny. I've actually been grinding out for the telescope lately, and I am probably about 15 hours into City of the Dead, and that place is... I don't know how I feel. It's not difficult. I just find it kind of boring. And, yeah, I don't know. But let's see. You get a housing item from it. That's cool. Do you get a title? I know some people have it now, but I just don't know what the title is. Oh, I guess it tells you clairvoyance. That's kind of cool, actually. Yeah, that's kind of cool. But yeah, I've actually been grinding out for the compass. I have the one Vodkin piece that you could turn in like the 3 Histria pieces to get the one like that drops in both Tungrad and City. So I'm technically 1 out of 3 pieces, but yeah, 15 hours at City. I also need those Origin of Dark Hungers, so I'm still there. And for everyone who has the triple Dream Horse Celestial title, you get this thing. That's actually pretty cool, dude. I want it. Yeah, this is actually one thing I want to go for next year. I have 2 out of 3 Dream Horses. I need to get the Doom. So I got a level 30 Doom Horse. I'm just gonna buy the other one because I can't even be bothered to make it myself, or the second one again. So I'm just gonna buy another Doom Horse, and then I should have 2 tier 10 attempts ready to go, and we'll do that at some point. So that's actually really cool. Like, man, that's fancy, actually. For all of you who are wondering what is the best horse, whether it's tier 9 or tier 10, I think overall use, the Pegasus is probably the best one to get for most people, just because it'll get you from point A to B in generally the fastest time, and you could take shortcuts like jumping off mountains and everything. Whereas I think Unicorn is also good, but it's very niche, being able to run into desert and water, so you have to be grinding in spots that, you know, like you would use it. Otherwise, if you're like going from like Heidel to Elvia Orcs, it doesn't matter as much, but like I would probably still choose the Pegasus first and foremost. So that's cool. Either way, you're getting a you get to get a Why would you get Heavenly Demon Guide? Heavenly and Demon just feels like it doesn't go together. Okay. Dude, there are so many notes. Dude, it's been 40 minutes and we're still going through notes. Hunting grounds trace miscellaneous loot. So basically hunting the life skill. Wait, no. Never mind, that's not wrong thing. Hunting grounds as in like grinding zones and trash loot. Okay, that makes more sense. So they're buffing Gyphon Underground. Added that memory. Traces of memory can be obtained. That's huge. Like, the yellow traces of memory are very valuable. That drops from all of it. I mean, I don't think it'll add much more silver to your, like, hourly, but I mean, it's good if you use it, I guess. Traces of forest can be obtained from Upper Gyphon. I don't really think that was, like, an issue, right? Trace of forest is abundant. Gray forest is ash forest. The amount of trash loot you can get from 2 to 4 is to 3 to 5. Yo, Pearl Abyss, I've said this multiple times. I know ash forest sucks and you're trying to buff it. Buffing the trash loot, and people don't grind ash forest for the silver. People grind ash forest for Deboreka necklaces and or the leaves or the Orzeka. So, I'm glad you're buffing trash loot, but you should probably just buff the Deboreka drop rate. It's a 300 area spot, 300 AP area, and you're getting like 400 mil an hour. You could go to anywhere else in the game, any level, and probably get more than 400 mil an hour. So trash loot is not the problem at Ash Forest. Deboreka drop rate is. Olins. Instead of acquiring a flat 3, you get 3 to 5. I don't like Olins is a pretty solid spot, especially if you have a good group of 3. People are making over $1 billion an hour. So I think that's good, but at the same time, I think a lot of people are grinding for the Rich Merchant Ring piece, or they're trying to grind out Dekia for the Deboreka earrings. So one of those things where the accessories are worth more than the trash loot. Elvia Quint Hill. I'll admit I don't really like grinding there, so I don't know too much about it. Altar Imps. Still probably to this day not really worth grinding there. Oh boy, Thornwoods is getting buffed. Let's see. Basically everything at Thornwood. I don't really know why they could have just said monsters. Everything. Status effect of the following monsters in Thornwood has been changed. Stun, bound, knockdown to just knock back. Oh, okay. Improvements have been made so that the Ulakita's essence buff can be obtained more reliably when defeating the heralds in the City of the Dead. I didn't really have an issue, but at the same time, there are times where I've like full on CC'd while it's casting and it didn't do anything. So if that's what they meant, that's cool. I didn't really have it, but glad it got changed. Mirror Mock, and often I honestly don't even go to that boss anymore. NPCs, effects, cutscenes. What in the world? What am I looking at? Oh, they removed some rocks. Yo, if you guys are gonna remove things from the world, you know the Songashi fight in Land of the Morning Light, the boss? When she stands between those vines and the like little roots from the tree that hard stucks people, yeah, remove those. UI, the edit your pet's group name. Dude, that is huge. I've wanted this for so long. So like, I use one set of pets because I'm just too lazy to change it. But it would be nice to have like a PvE, well, I guess not really PvP, but like a Lifeskill, PvE, knowledge, and all that stuff. So I think that's a huge change. That's good. If you check sprint automatically after boarding, it is improved that the check remains even after you dismount. However, it will be reset when the game is loaded, such as when a traveler escapes or moves to a server. This is like, what in the world? One step forward, one step back. Nice. We have reached the end of the patch notes. This is probably one of the longest patch notes readings I've ever done, but there was a lot of stuff to talk about. This is a huge list of changes coming soon, and I'm actually glad. Man, it's actually hard talking for like 45 minutes straight when you're sick. Oh boy. But man, that's a lot of good changes, and a lot of these are quality of life. So buffs coming up for all the classes. Life skillers, I hope you're happy. PvEers, new stuff changing. Grind spots, that's good. Quality of lives, that's good. Life skill people who sell elixirs, that's good. But yeah, overall, it's pretty good. So with that said, I just want to say thank you guys if you are still here. I know this is a stupidly long video, and yeah, we'll be back with more cool stuff tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. Yeah, I don't really know what to say after all of that. I still am probably going to be slow on the videos for the next few days because still recovering, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be back probably maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, who knows. But yeah, if you're new to your channel, welcome. Love to see you guys come back, and if you have any questions or anything, happy to answer them, or join the Discord. In my Discord, we have a channel where I put all my guides and tips, so even if you don't want to talk to me, just join the Discord, and I have all my videos. Just like Control F and then ask the question, and then it's probably there. And yeah, you could probably find any guide, and you don't even need to talk to anyone. So that's cool. With that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.